How's it going, everybody? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moon Base. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Always good to be here with all of you. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, say what's up. My reading sale is still available, so it'll be going till June 21st. If you want to do a reading with me, the link to my booking website is also in the description of this video, along with all the links to all of my social media platforms. And I look forward to seeing you there. June is starting to book, so May's pretty much all booked out. So anyway, this moon today in Scorpio is going to oppose Mercury. The sun moving into the first degree of Gemini. So it is like, when we get to 0 degrees, it's like this birth, or this, like before the baby comes out of the womb. Right now, we're starting to really peek our head out into Gemini season. The energy is changing quite a bit, and we're about to have a big-ass full moon in Sagittarius, which I think is an amazing full moon. Because this moon is, Jupiter is going to be dispositing the moon when it becomes full in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Venus is going to be conjuncting Jupiter on the full moon. The two benefics together in a full moon in Sagittarius, a Jupiter-ruled full moon, it's going to be badass. But today, I think, with this Mercury in Taurus being opposed by the moon in Scorpio, there is this kind of polarity today where it's like, when irrational fears pop up, don't let the overthinking or the emotions get the best of you. We can very much fall into that place very easily. So it's, very much a time to be patient on things. The moon is in its detriment in Scorpio. It's not, the greatest here. And this Mercury in Taurus moves a little slower, thinks a little slower. So it's like, when the emotions pop up, or the difficult emotions pop up, or conversations, that can be difficult, or, very pressurized conversations, take your time. Don't let the emotions get the best of you. Don't fall into the dark traps of this moon in Scorpio. It's like, be methodical, be present with this Mercury in Taurus, and stay practical. When we let the emotions kind of take over, it can really take us off track. These are two fixed signs, two polarized fixed signs. But it is like, when conversations come up, especially in relationships, it's like getting to a common ground of like, okay, where's the value in this relationship? What's the connection? And where is, the bond? Like, how deep does the bond really go? So if we're feeling like our values not being respected, there can definitely be some conversations that can get emotional today, where it's like, hey, I don't feel like my values being respected. I don't feel like what I'm putting in, I'm getting the same amount of love back, or the same amount of money back, or whatever. When we're talking about Taurus and Scorpio, like, it is about resources and money and sharing resources, right? So if one party's imbalanced, things can get a little emotional and very intense, and it can lead to deep, passionate discussions, right? So, or when the overthinking starts to take over, it's like the overthinking can lead to like emotional kind of outbursts or whatever. It's like, take your time, be patient, move slower, be more methodical in the conversations. Okay. And, we're in such a faded moment. This Mars just crossed this North Node, so it's just like the direction we're headed, it is more towards a faded karmic place, and especially it's connected to our healing and what we've been working through with Chiron and all this stuff. And we just had a yod yesterday from the moon to Neptune to the sun and Jupiter, right? So it's just like where that's pointing to is more balanced emotions, and more balanced, healthier relationships, but also like seeing the vision, seeing the dream, and knowing how the value within these relationships that we're supposed to be headed towards and really connecting with and growing and evolving and expanding. It's like, do we share the same beliefs? Do we share the same values? If we do, that's where we're supposed to go. That's where we're karmically and on a destined level. That's where we're supposed to be headed, because, a healthy life, you got to have healthy relationships to have a healthy life. And you got to have a healthy life to have healthy relationships. So it is this give and take. And that's what this Mercury opposing the moon today is, this give and take, this understanding of both sides of things, this polarity, this opposition, right? So, and then, tomorrow the moon's going to oppose Uranus and Venus and Jupiter. So it is. We're going to be really reflecting upon all these amazing positive transits that we just went through. And being able to look at it from the other side. It's like, because we were totally inside of it. After that the new moon crossed the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction space at 21 degrees. The new moon happened at 18 degrees. The moon conjunct Venus right before that. So it's like we were totally just inside of it, going through it. Now, these next few days, we're going to be able to look at it from the other side. It's like, okay, did I really put in the amount that I was supposed to put in? Have I been staying consistent? Taurus is all about consistency, right? Staying consistent, putting in the effort, putting in the hard work. Being able to look at that and analyze it on an emotional level and look deep into it and say, okay. And this Mercury opposition to the moon today is also giving us this perspective of looking deep into the mirror of what we've been going through. I mean, we're still in a window, a big window. It's going to be going on until July, really, when Mars comes into Taurus. And this Saturn, it will trine, well, not really. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing today, because going into tomorrow, well, here we go. I mean, this moon's going to quincunx Mars. So Mars being the ruling planet of Aries, traditionally Scorpio, so this is where this kind of, we may feel a little uncomfortable. So here we go. Like, I don't look at these charts before we do, I can always see in my head, but now looking at it, it's like, damn, this Mars is now at 16 degrees. This moon in Scorpio in a Mars ruled sign. So there's a lot of Martian energy. Things can get really deep, really emotional today. For sure, especially by the evening. Where it's like, okay, this 16 degree mark is exactly where this Chiron North Node conjunction happened. And now that Mars is crossing that degree, here we go. The moon and Mars making this really awkward angle. Quincunxes are pretty awkward. It's a 150 degree angle. So there is this okay, I'm on my own journey. I'm on my own path. But maybe people might not agree with you. Maybe some people may not agree with the direction that you're taking. It may make some people uncomfortable. It may make people feel a little left out and a little hurt. This Mars at this degree where the Chiron North Node conjunction happened, it could bring up a lot of wounds. It could bring up a lot of what we were experiencing at that time, back in February. So this can bring up a lot of things we were going through back in February. And this moon making this angle to the Mars, it's like, shit, you can't really get caught up in other people's stuff, emotions, especially when it gets manipulative or dark, or people are projecting onto you. And when we're talking about moon and Scorpio, we're talking about people projecting big time. So there can be some projections coming through, and no matter what, at first, especially with that moon opposing Mercury before we get here, it's like we can experience that a lot. People projecting, or, people not really wanting to say how they feel, but they'll put it out in some, physical expression where it's obvious, but they don't want to say how they feel, which leads to a very Pluto-like kind of eruption. So it's better to just get straight to the point. And with this Mars and Aries, it's ready to fucking attack or go after or say how it fucking feels, no matter what. This moon in Scorpio sometimes, like, it goes one way or the other. It's like it either just really is ready to slice and dice you into pieces emotionally, or just repress everything and hold it in until it fucking pops. So there can be kind of like a pop today, which can help us get to a better place, especially emotionally connected to this Chiron. So all in all, when the difficult things start to pop up, it's leading us to a better place. And it's all karmic, it's all fate, and it's what we need to be looking at. It's what we need to be experiencing. It's what we need to be feeling. So it's important to look at, these different angles today, because we're coming into a polarized position where we haven't been here as we've been going through all these really incredible transits that are still happening, right? Mercury's only at 9 degrees. It's going to be at 10 degrees tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow. So it's going to be crossing this whole area too. Mars will follow. So, it's really amazing. And then by Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to have the beautiful Venus-Jupiter conjunction when the two benefics come together. So it's just another unraveling of these beautiful, amazing Taurus transits that are once in a fucking lifetime that we will never see again like this. And the doors are open. The doors are still open, but there's definitely a lot of emotional shit that's popping up this week as we're starting to look at that from the other side. We haven't been here since the full moon in Libra at the end of March. The eclipse, the lunar eclipse. So, but that's what we need. When we're just inside of the container and just moving through it and, moving towards the goal and doing whatever, it's like sometimes you don't have the perspective you need. So this moon in Scorpio is giving us the perspective we truly need to see the whole picture in a more honest, clear, and concise way. Because Scorpio picks out all the details, right? So like almost like a Virgo in a way, right? But on an emotional level, like a detective. Like it could just spot all the inconsistencies, right? And it could be kind of uncomfortable, but I think right now it's necessary because, we've been going through so much positive transits, it's like, well, we kind of need some Scorpio energy to kind of balance that out and give us both sides of things to keep us honest. And definitely this full moon in Sag coming up here, it's definitely going to keep us honest, right? And Jupiter coming into Gemini, Jupiter in its detriment. So we're moving into whole new territory, and it's exciting. 2024 has been pretty awesome thus far, I will say. And moving into the second half, September, October, November, when Pluto moves back into Capricorn, it's going to get fucking wild. Wow. Couple cards fell out. Oh, shit. We got the 9 of Cups. Tell you. Sorry, a bunch of cards just fell everywhere. We have all that we need, right? And it's just like finding the comfort and the luxury and not, freaking out or falling into the emotional traps that this moon in Scorpio today, like, can bring us into. It's like, holy shit. Like, we have all that we need, like, and with this Page of Swords, it's just like, even when with this Mars in Aries and this moon quincunx Mars, it's like, people start projecting onto you. It's just like, you got to do what you can to just cut right through it, and when it gets foggy and weird or any weird emotional shit pops up, it's just like, you have to be able to slice and dice and keep on your path and not let things that don't really mean much to your destined path pull you out of your state of being, right? So it is. With the Temperance card, it's about finding balance, and it is the give and take, like we talked about. With this moon Mercury opposition, it's all about the give and take, right? And being patient, when you receive, you give. When you give, you receive. And that's what these Taurus transits have been teaching us, right? So it is like this light consciousness energy that's been really, like, we've leveled up so much. And with this Pluto retrograde really starting to expose a lot of shit. Well, not starting to expose, but like the things that have been exposed actually boiling up to the surface and hitting us in the face in a very real way. But what that really means is that like our consciousness can start to finally expand in a much more truthful way, you know, even though we've been going through such a massive expansion here. But a lot of when the deception and a lot of the things that have been hidden start to bubble up, it can get really uncomfortable. But also like accepting that that's how it really is and just adding that to your arsenal of awareness can help us come up with new ways of existing and working with others and knowing how to work with others, because we have this new acceptance of, you know, what's been hidden. I think that's really important, is to, you know, when these things kind of pop up, it's like not running from them, but looking at them and accepting it. Like, oh shit, like, you know, because for a long time, humanity has kind of brushed off a lot of the shit that we don't want to see, right? And it's like, oh, like I just want to create a reality that it's only all the good things and all that I, you know, and that's where spirituality can lead you down a weird path where it's like, oh, it's all love and light, all about. It's like, no, like you got to be able to face your shadow, and when you can face your shadow and look at your shadow in an honest way, that's when the light consciousness, that like the temperance card, starts to show through and starts to expand, and that resonates into other people, and people feed off that, right? There's more darkness in the universe than there is light. You know, like it's like most of the universe is dark, you know, but when you travel through darkness, through deep space, it's like, oh, there's a sun 93,000 or a million miles away, right? So it's like we have to travel through darkness to get to these very finite moments of light and expression, which is where the real creative, beautiful, expansion lies. And I think these positive transits that we've been going through are reminding us of that, because all of last year, especially coming into 2023 with Mars retrograde, and Gemini, and Mars squaring Neptune, it was wild, and Venus going retrograde, and then even the beginning of the year with Pluto coming into Aquarius, it's like, man, we've been going through so much intensity, you know. And like these past 2 months have been like, okay, like we're starting to move in this expansive territory and innovative territory, and new opportunities and new doorways opening up, new relationships, new financial opportunities to really benefit our lives and help us to help benefit other people's lives, right? It's like starting to understand why we had to go through that darkness or go through that pain and that, or the suffering or the loss, right? Especially with the South Node and Chiron on the North Node. So, you know, we're moving into whole new territory, and I'm fucking stoked about this full moon in Sag. Because, I mean, not just because I'm a moon in Sag, but I'm stoked. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to be putting up sun signs sometime this week, and then once I figure out like how I'm going to do it, then we'll have it in the routine throughout the week, and I'm super stoked to do that. So, and I appreciate everyone's feedback once again, because it kind of helps me figure out where and how to do it and where to place it and where to meet everybody halfway. So it's been really helpful, and I appreciate it very much. So I'll see you all tomorrow, and have a great day. Peace.